We gotta talk, Sony. This is a video game based on an iconic superhero. Every single woman in that game besides Aunt May should be grade A FAP material. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit reading that. Spider-Man 2 has been breaking records across the board, including becoming the fastest selling PlayStation Studios game in the first 24 hours, selling more than 2.5 million copies. And it's also set the record time for people on the internet to establish themselves as absolute dumbasses when it comes to their opinions about it. And so today in this video, we're going to be looking at some of those very smart and very valid criticisms that people are having. And I warn you, these are going to hurt your brain. So let's get started with the first dumb take. Spider-Man 2 seems to be the most buggy and broken game released in 2023. They need to patch this whole mess. Now, unfortunately, any gamer in 2023 will be very comfortable with bugs at this point. It seems like anytime a new game gets released, bugs are inbound. You know, they're going to be there because most studios now just focus on releasing games as quickly as possible rather than actually taking the time to get rid of all of those things. But that's like a whole separate issue. So what are the bugs in Spider-Man 2 that people are talking about? Well, some of them, to be fair, are valid, such as this one, where Miles is just a head. Kind of gives me like the fake heads in Mission Impossible, like someone's about to wear Miles Morales' face and go plan a heist or something. And then there was also this one in which people turned into a little cube when they were trying to switch their suits out. Apparently this is a glitch associated specifically with the black Sam Raimi suit. And this bug to me and to many other people online is just funny and has actually led to some really cool fan art like this one. And I'm not going to lie, if in Spider-Man 3 we don't get Spider-Cube as an unlockable suit, I'm a riot. So yeah, Spider-Man has some bugs, and to be fair, I actually encountered a bug in my playthrough. I've completely platinumed the game, and the bug that I encountered was not being able to interact with certain things during a story mission that I needed to progress it, which was fixed with a simple restart back from the checkpoint, so it wasn't actually that big of a deal. But these aren't the kind of bugs that people are talking about. The kind of bugs that people are now demanding that Insomniac refund everybody for their purchases of Spider-Man because the game is an incomplete, trashy mess. No, check this video out. They went out of their way to break the game to prove something, to try and prove that Spider-Man 2 is a buggy mess, when in reality, this is all on you. And to illustrate just how dumb this kind of thing is, this whole point is, here is some spaghetti. Now, as you can see, this is a whole spaghetti. You see this? Isn't that beautiful spaghetti? But watch what happens when I put some pressure on it. That was a lot messier than I thought it would be. It breaks. Now, does this mean that the person who sold me this spaghetti is selling me a broken mess of spaghetti? No, it means that when you put strain on something, you break it. It doesn't mean that the spaghetti was broken to begin with. It means that you broke it. And because of your dumbassery, now I have to clean up spaghetti from my room. Moving on to the dumb take number 2. Only 12 hours campaign, and 6 of those are cinematic cutscenes. That's the time it took me from the character creation to the end of the first quest in Starfield. Now, this is more of a personal point for me, a personal gripe that I have with this kind of narrative around the length of video games in today's times. Like I said earlier, I have platinumed Spider-Man 2, and that entire process took me about 26 hours, and the story itself was between, I'd say 12 and 15 hours. And that's not a bad thing. It really winds me up that some gamers nowadays are pushing this narrative that in order for a game to be good, it has to be hundreds and hundreds of hours worth of gameplay. And you see this narrative actually reflected in genuine game and critic reviews. People criticizing these games for not having a lengthy playtime, a padded out playtime, as if that somehow detracts from the overall experience of the game. And do you know why that's bad? Because it leads to these studios unnecessarily padding out the game, having scenes where you literally just walk behind an NPC at a ridiculously slow pace, listening to some unnecessarily convoluted dialogue in order for them to say, okay, well, that scene now lasted an hour rather than 10 minutes, which means we have a longer game and therefore a better game. And all of that just makes games worse. I personally would rather have a gaming experience that lasts 25 hours rather than 250 hours that makes me want to tear my eyeballs out just for something to do that's interesting. The whole point of this is just because a game is longer does not mean it is better. Sometimes a short and sweet story is a much better experience than grinding out resources and ridiculous things to just progress a random mission. Like I said, that one's more of a personal gripe. Some people may disagree with me on that one, but it's really pissing me off that this is a narrative that we're spreading, that games need to pad out all of their play times in order for people to be happy with the experience. No, give me the short, the sweet, give me exactly what I need to appreciate the story, and I'm gonna love it. Dumb take number 3. We gotta talk, Sony. This is a video game based on an iconic superhero. I don't know why he's shouting that part. Every single woman in that game besides Aunt May should be grade A FAP material. Anything less, and you failed. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit reading that. The saddest thing about this take is that it's not just one person saying it. No, this is a very common thing that we're seeing crop up online ever since the first images of MJ were released. And the complaints started pouring in about MJ not being as attractive anymore, and she's meant to be the hottest woman in the Marvel universe, and now look at her. And let me give you a reality check. This game that you have purchased and are playing is called Spider-Man 2. It is not called How Many Times Can You Fuck MJ 2. It is genuinely pathetic. It is genuinely fucking ridiculous behavior to complain about how attractive a character in a video game is. Especially in a game that you yourself said is a video game based on an iconic superhero. This isn't I Love You, Colonel Sanders, alright? No one cares how attractive the characters are in this game. People care about how badly you can beat up Kraven and all the other enemies who are trying to kill you in the game. Honestly, the conversation and the debate on whether the new model of MJ is more attractive or less attractive than the model from the first game is kind of a moot point, because some people are going to find her attractive and some people are going to find her unattractive. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder after all. But for me, I would personally prefer to see real people dealing with, well, I mean, it's a video game about a superhero, so not necessarily real issues, but you know, like MJ is dealing with jobs in this game and her place in the world and all that kind of stuff. These are real things that real people experience. I would prefer to see that than have any worries about how attractive she is. Like, how dense and shallow are you to be distracted from the story of the game by such a ridiculous thing? And back to the guy who tweeted this originally, all this is telling me and everybody else is that no woman has ever or will ever actually touch you in real life, and you're just telling on yourself, buddy. Dumb take number 4. It's a shame how fucking unbearably woke Spider-Man 2 is. Loved the first one, got 100% on it, but I won't even bother with this stupid bullshit at all. It's just so tiring. Ah yes, the woke argument. You may remember somebody else having a similar argument back when Starfield was released. And in case you don't, here's a little recap. Fucking pronouns! What can be said about this that hasn't already been said? It seems almost inevitable nowadays that a game will come out and people are going to be complaining about wokeness. Now, for those of you who are confused, the wokeness that this person is referring to is the fact that this game includes characters who are blind, deaf, bisexual, gay, basically anything that isn't white, heterosexual, cisgender, male. Because we know just how much the fanboys hate that kind of thing. As I've already mentioned, most of the criticisms of this point have already been said, but I'll add one more to the pile. If you guys got your way and this game only featured white, heterosexual, cisgender men, it would be fucking boring. Like, we've seen that story 10 million times. We don't need to see it again. And even in this game, you got your white cisgender man at the forefront of the story in a heterosexual relationship with a white cisgendered female. And yet you still complain, you still bitch and moan, you can't even let anybody else have the damn side missions of the game, never mind anything else. Genuinely pathetic to still see this criticism and to see people letting this kind of thing get in the way of them experiencing phenomenal stories and phenomenal games in general. It's baffling to me how people let such minuscule things ruin what they could have. You can have criticisms of a game, of any game, including Spider-Man 2. And to be fair, criticisms are actually a really good thing, and they can lead to some really good changes. Like this one, where many people pointed out that Insomniac had gotten the wrong flag in Miles's house, and that's now being changed by Insomniac to better reflect what it's supposed to reflect. This is really good, and we love to see this kind of things, and this is exactly why these kind of dumbass takes are so potentially damaging, because all it's going to do is tell studios not to listen to the fans anymore because they're not actually giving them any valid criticisms. And then we lose the opportunity to report actual things that need to be fixed, like the flag, like Spider-Cube, all that kind of stuff that genuinely needs to be changed in the game to improve the experience is just going to fly under the radar because most people are bitching about how they can't put the new MJ in a wank bank. Saying that sentence out loud it hurt me a little bit. It hurt me a little bit. Forced hate and misrepresentation of what a game actually is just, as I said in the title, pathetic. If you enjoyed Spider-Man, cool. If you didn't enjoy Spider-Man, cool. If you enjoyed Starfield more than Spider-Man, excellent. It is all a matter of opinion and based on what you prefer as a gamer and what you want from your experiences. Essentially, it only affects you. So you don't need to take all of that hatred that you have and try and force it onto other people. I personally love Spider-Man 2. I had a great time with it, and I had a few critiques of it and the story, which I'll be covering in a video that I'm uploading on my other channel this weekend. But overall, I thought it was a fantastic sequel and a really, really fun gameplay experience. But of course, that's just my opinion, and I'm not forcing that on anybody else. If you didn't like it, that's not going to detract from my experience or make my viewpoint change in any major way. But anyway, let me know what you think of all of this and all of these takes in the comments below as always. And if you did like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more gaming and streaming content every single week. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. Go out there and be the best damn Crunksy you can be. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.
So let me break it all down for you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. I'm taking that crown from you.